here. Hey, how's it going, man? Why are you being?
Get my consent.
Huh?
Presentation, you ready? Are you marking that down?
Yes.
It's all yours.
The world is changing so incredibly fast that what's fun, exciting, and relevant today is virtually yesterday's news tomorrow. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn, Dig, Reddit, Flickr, Tumblr. There are so many ways to get information and to spend our time that we barely have a spare moment to breathe. And yes, breathing is very important to me. I live in exhilarating times, and as a proud, driven, and soon-to-be successful in the business world African-American woman, I yearn for ways to exhibit my achievements to everyone around me, to my friends, to my peers, and especially my family. I also know that others in our designated target feel exactly the same way, and that includes everyone: Black, Hispanic, Asian, and white. So while instant gratification and information the second you want it, or not, is important, so is taking a little time to stop and smell the roses. We're not saying stop the world, we want to get off, but what resonates with us in this how fast can we make something happen world are brands that take the time and make the effort to understand us as unique and special individuals today, and brands that will continue to understand us as our needs and values change tomorrow. In our world, life seems to change immediately, from high school to college to a job, to marriage to kids, to more kids, and hopefully a better job. And so much of that happens in the 18 to 29 time span. 11 short but action-packed years. It's exciting, but it's also frightening. Does anyone out there notice? Nissan does.
Who are we? We're African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans. And though we're proud of our heritage and our history, we simply want to be known as Americans. We don't like being patronized, excluded, called out, or sucked up to. We're all in this together: white, black, Asian, English pinstripe, or tartan plaid. It doesn't make a single bit of difference until someone makes it so. And that's the wrong strategy. We've heard this over and over again in our research. Minority target groups want to make it in America, and we strive to prove that every single day. Now, is it racist? No, not really, but is there a perception that it's more difficult for blacks, Hispanics, and Asians to succeed? Most definitely.
Why are Jared and I doing most of the talking? Because we're in your target. We get it. You want us to position Nissan as the solution to an ever-changing dynamic. To find that magic bean that would resonate with 3 completely different target groups while still resonating with the mainstream Caucasian audience that makes up for the majority of your sales. Not an easy task.
Now, I'm about as white as it gets. So if anyone should have been a bit taken back by this project, it was probably me. Because I'm just as much a target to buy a new Nissan as my friends Solange and Jared here. Are we diversely different? Yeah. But do the same talking points resonate with all of us? You bet. Now, given they may be more pronounced in some minority communities, and even that would make for a great debate, but as a Caucasian American, they're just as important to me. Our target market felt the same way. Take a look at what they had to say.
I got my Xterra.
I can see myself driving one.
That's what I drive today, which I really like.
Never really had a used car. We always thought like if you're gonna make the investment, make it.
Your drive and your ambition, what it is that you really want.
How do you feel about culturally directed advertising?
I think it's usually hit or miss.
I've become incredibly aware that I'm a woman, first and foremost. I've always known I'm black.
The language really doesn't matter. It just means I understand what you're saying.
They always give like black people like so much attitude. Like, I know well, I like something that makes people thinking about it differently. Now that I know we're black.
The Geico commercials, like they're hilarious, but you have no clue about the policy.
Those McDonald's commercials? Yes.
You know who we are? We're smart and hip. We strive to be educated decision makers. We demand that we control our own world even if we're not ready. We can pivot on a dime, or so we think. We want structure, but at the same time, we don't want any structure. We resent older know-it-alls, but we seek people with believable knowledge. We want instant gratification, but only if it comes with a promise for the future. We look for things that make us happy, fulfilled, safe, financially stable, and confident that we made the right choice. But more than anything, in this ever-changing 11 years of our lives, we look for examples that shout confidently who we are, and what or who we hope to become. It's critically important to us, and it's critically important that our friends, our peers, and our families think so too.
There are 3 stages of the buying process, and all of them are important to our target demographic: reptilian, emotional, and rational. While all 3 come into play, if we don't appeal to our target on an emotional basis, the last stage, rational, will never surface. The rational stage is where the relationship at the dealer is paramount, because that's where the purchase decision is normally consummated. But how do we get this target group of about 20 million to recognize that Nissan truly understands them? So we digress. All 3 target groups, along with Caucasians ages 18 through 29, are determined to make it. So what we wear, eat, drive, drink, where we live, who our friends are, says something about us as unique individuals. It's what sets us apart. It's a visual testimony of our love for life and our passions and who and what we are at this particular stage. Only, we all know this will change multiple times throughout that 18 to 29 timeline. What a roller coaster. Fortunately, Nissan understands that.
Shirts, pants, dresses, jeans, shoes, jewelry, and cars. Regardless of the clothes you choose to wear, for whatever reason, communicate something about your interests, your personality, your style. They're an expression of you. But what about your metal clothing? The car you choose to drive says just as much about who you are and what you want to become, now and in the future.
Adrenaline junkies demand speed, wearing a 370Z. Adventurous souls wear a Frontier. New parents seek safety, wearing a Nissan Quest. Business professionals demand comfort, quality, and style, wearing a Maxima. Practical people want durability, wearing an Altima or a Pathfinder. And that sets the table for our perfect big idea that would resonate with our target and all others as well.
Nissan has exceptional vehicles to fit every personality, desire, or passion. Whether it's for the 6 needs assessment categories provided to us by our local Nissan dealer: performance, durability, appearance, safety, economy, or comfort, Nissan can expertly tailor the appropriate metal clothing to fit each individual's style, interests, and passions perfectly. What Nissan are you wearing?
Numbering around 20 million total, the 18 to 29 Hispanic, Asian, and African American segments is among the fastest growing target in the United States, both in population and in buying power. Our target values their culture, but they value their independence even more. They are determined to make it in the world, and the items they purchase play a big part in their lives and must fit their personal style. If Nissan's message does not communicate this clearly, they are not likely to pay attention.
Statistics prove that in-language advertising would not impact our target markets as effectively as in English. Approximately 70% of first-generation Hispanics speak English predominantly, while 83% of Asian Americans speak it fluently. Thus, our campaign will be primarily in English. Once again, our target markets want to be known as Americans, and English is the language we primarily speak.
Our research showed that our target has a relatively neutral perception of Nissan, viewing it as just average. Brand awareness, especially in advertising, is mixed. When asked in focus groups to speak about Nissan, many had difficulty recalling any of the brand's commercials or what Nissan stood for. One group of 14 could not recall the brand's positioning line, "Innovation for All," even when prompted. This should send up a major red flag.
Nissan owners, on the other hand, told a completely different story. They praised the brand for its great style, performance, and durability. They said that being able to buy a Nissan was a sign you were really moving up in the world. we quickly realized that Nissan drivers are passionate about where their life is heading and how they choose to get there. Nissan drivers are doers. Our target is mainstream, but with a twist. They're quasi-hip, but with strong cultural heritage ties. They don't want to be treated as some homogenous block, but rather as unique individuals with their own unique lifestyles.
In a way, their car is akin to metal clothing. It's an expression of their lifestyles, their values, and their passions. Our target market perceive themselves as strong, powerful, and motivated, and demand being recognized as such. With our campaign, Nissan will do just that. Now all that remains is to decide, what Nissan are you wearing?
Our objectives are to, 1, establish Nissan as the brand that best resonates with multicultural segments ages 18 through 29, while still resonating with the demo that already purchases the brand. 2, change the perception that Nissan is average. And 3, communicate that people choose Nissan because they identify with a Nissan model that best fits them.
Our research revealed we must create a brand strategy as diverse as our target market, but with a unifying theme that resonates with all three. Our audiences decide what they want because of who they are. They watch specific TV shows, eat at certain restaurants, and wear particular clothing. The cars they select to drive are no different. It's truly a mobile fashion statement.
So to accomplish this, we need to make a good, lasting impression. How about 26 billion of them? That's the number of impressions in 2013 we'll reach our target via the use of multiple traditional and non-traditional media. Television, mostly cable, will be our primary traditional media recommendation. Creative will feature our targets engaged in their own specific interests, passions, or jobs, and how Nissan fits the situation perfectly.